The funeral service attracted friends and well-wishers, which included traditional rulers, politicians, and captains of industry paying their last respect to the late monarch. Governor Fubara noted that late King Jaja will live to the age of 83, exemplified peace, humility, and dignity throughout his reign, and will be remembered for the legacy of stability and leadership he promoted.
We have come as government to pay our last respect to our father. I feel very honored that it's happening in our own time. You can imagine the achievements of our late king outside the King Jaja and other chiefs who founded Opopo. I think the late Dandes Jaja is the only one that has made another significant mark. He was a successful man. He has done his work. He lived a very peaceful life. Even when we were battling for who becomes the king, he kept his cool. The kingdom was peaceful. I describe him as a man of class and dignity. So today, we should celebrate him with peace. We should celebrate him with fulfillment. We should celebrate him as somebody who has finished his own work. It is not left for us.
In a message to the Amanabo-elect, the governor urged the incoming ruler to build his own legacy rather than attempt to replicate that of his predecessor. He also warned members of the royal families against dispute over inheritance, emphasizing that success cannot be passed down.
You're not going to follow the late king. You'll start your own work. You will do your own work. But what is important is, I might not be there when you are laid like this. How will they tell your story? That is what is most important. So I know that you are going to do a good work. And when we are talking about your story, by age, we'll escort you, so I'll still be here. The story will be a sweet one. You all need to work for your own success. That is the truth. So if you have that in mind, I don't think there will be any crisis in the family.
Delivering the sermon, the Bishop of the Diocese of Niger Delta, Emmanuel Oko Jaja, reminded the congregation of the temporary nature of life. He urged the faithful to focus on spiritual preparedness, noting that eternal hope rests in faith and righteous living. Tamun Nobarabi Ibulubo, Rstv News.
A solemn service of songs held Friday night in Thai local government area. Tamnok Barabi Ibulubo has details.
Governor Fubara joined hundreds of mourners at Bethel Anglican Church in Kurumatai to honor the memory of late Senator Banada Impigi. Until his passing, Impigi represented the Rivers Southeast Senatorial District at the National Assembly. Addressing the congregation, Governor Fubara characterized the late lawmaker as a fighter whose legacy is etched in the developmental works he championed during his lifetime. The governor noted that while life remains a mystery, death is the ultimate conclusion over which no human has control. The governor, who has previously visited the bereaved family and sent a formal letter of condolence, expressed his gratitude to the members of the National Assembly and the people of Kuruma for their presence.
Death is the ultimate end of everything. We have nothing to do. We cannot add or subtract. When it comes, it has come. He lived a great life. He was a fighter, but his time has come and gone. We remember him for the great work he did. The family just take heart. Our gathering here is not enough to console you. It is only God that will console you and fill that vacuum. May his soul rest in peace.
Senator Impigi transition marks the end of a prominent legislative era for the Rivers Southeast District. As the funeral rites continues, Governor Fuara prayed for divine comfort for the family and joining mercies for all the sympathizers. Tamun Nobarabi Iblubo, Rstv News.
Life is not important if it does not impact other lives. A man who lives an easy life leaves a worthy memory of himself, as life's journey begins from the day of birth. These were the words of the National Presbyter Church of God Mission International Incorporated, Port Harcourt City Centre Province, Reverend Cornelius Olo, in an exhortation at the funeral service of late Pa Nrio Ukot at Asrama in Andoni local government area of the state. Melvin Jackson was there and now reports.
The presbyter who charged Christians to lead a life worthy of emulation described the late Pa Nrio Ukot as a detribalized Nigerian who made peace in all ramifications of his life. Reverend Olo said late Pa Ukot was a warm-hearted, unassuming, and truthful in all he does, and admonished Christians and the immediate family to learn to number their days according to the scriptures so that they may gain a heart of wisdom.
If the roll is called to pay, will you be among the number? I carefully listen to people. They came in here to testify about Papa. Your own day. What will people say? It is only you. It's only myself that will answer this question. This afternoon, we can help you to number your days well, to make peace with your Creator. Because it is a surety that death will come.
In his biography, great-granddaughter Awajoka Owens Ukot revealed that late Pa Ukot was a peace-loving man and was loved by everyone who comes in contact with him. She added that Pa Ukot was a trailblazer who was supportive to the community affairs, family, and the church, which made the church and community to exclude him from financial donations and contributions considering his age. Others, including the chairman, Asarama Traditional Rulers Council, His Royal Highness Ubokikwang Gabriel Ogbologwang, testified to the deceased good lifestyle and advised the family to keep his legacies.
My father was a helper to the community Asarama as a large, and because of that, the entire family, the younger ones that are growing up, should emulate and learn how to live in oneness. So we are one of those being tutored by this centenarian that we have just laid to rest, and is one of the men endowed with natural wisdom, and so we have a very high respect for him. That is why some of us have come to spend the time to give him this befitting farewell.
He's not someone that's look for trouble. He always give a fatherly and godly counsel. That is why even in the Church of God mission, they respected him, celebrated him. They celebrated twice, about 3 times before he passed on. So I want to advise the children also to live in peace and follow the footsteps of the Father, and then unite themselves and work together as a family.
Late Pa Nrio Ukot died at the age of 104 with 2 wives, 14 children, and numerous great-grandchildren and relations to mourn his departure. There were thanksgiving and prayer for the bereaved family. Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at RSTVPH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Still to come, Trump orders U.S. naval blockade of Strait of Hormuz. And in sports, Bundesliga club Union Berlin names Mario Lewis et al. As manager. Details shortly.
Omega Power Ministries, OPM Worldwide, presents 7 Sundays Deliverance titled
Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they fighting you for what God has given to you? Summon them to the court of heaven. Is there a wicked gang up against you? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they attacking your children? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they fighting against your miracle pregnancy? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they spiritually blocking your marital breakthrough? Summon them to the court of heaven. Is there any sickness in your body that have refused to go? Summon that sickness to the court of heaven. When all that court fails, the court of heaven stands. Date.
Sunday 29th March, Sunday 5th April, Sunday 12th April, Sunday 19th April, and Sunday 26th April 2026.
Time 9 a.m. Venue Dr. Jesus City.
4 p.m. Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
Rstv Television, the treasured station.
From the creeks of the capital, we tell the stories.
My name is Gospel Anele, reporting for Rstv Television.
Areas of agriculture, education, infrastructure.
And the people who are concerned are actually calling for government intervention.
Stakeholders believe that state police could also alleviate on the burden.
From River State to the world, we keep you connected.
Stories gathered, facts verified, truth delivered.
At Rstv, not only do we offer you authentic coverage, we offer the premium value, and our prices you can trust are fair and affordable.
Here in Rstv, our audience is our priority, our integrity, our pride.
Your stories told with truth and passion. That's Rstv Television. Stay with us.
River State, the home for all, an epitome of Nigeria's diversity. River State, where life flows like a river, blessed with abundant human and natural resources. Let's give peace a chance. A people united by different cultural values, where love flourishes. Say no to violence. In love and unity, our dreams shall come true. Together, let's build a peaceful and prosperous River State. Shun violent crime. Report any suspicious or criminal activities to security. For a brighter today and tomorrow, let's embrace the peace.
Our government is committed to building bridges of friendship and peace as a social contract. Join the Peace Initiative. Blessed are the peacemakers. They shall be called the children of God.
Rstv, your source for authentic coverage.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
You're still watching the World News, coming to you live from the studios of Rstv Television here in Port Harcourt. Moving on now, the Nigerian Navy has arrested 2 vessels, MT Nkbodu and MT Westaff AF, with over 939 metric tons of suspected stolen crude oil worth over 4 billion naira. The Commander Joint Task Force South-South Operation, Delta Steve, Rear Admiral Olugbenga Oladikbo, who made this known while briefing newsmen in Calabar on Sunday, said 26 crew members were also arrested in the operations. He said the arrest underscores the Nigerian Navy's continued commitment to combat crude oil theft and other economic saboteurs. According to him, the arrest of the vessels were made possible through credible intelligence at midnight on April 8. He said the vessels were apprehended at a wellhead within the Calabar-Akwa Ibom Joint Operation Area, where they were actively involved in crude oil theft. The Nigerian Air Force has carried out follow-up airstrikes on suspected terrorist locations in the Gili axis of Borno State as part of ongoing counter-terrorism operations in the northeast. It was reported that no fewer than 30 people are feared killed after a military strike struck a weekly market at Jili village located along the border between Borno State and Yobe State on Saturday evening. The incident, which occurred at the popular Jili market between Gubio and Geidam areas of Yobe State, reportedly left traders and residents in panic as explosions rocked the busy trading center. The strikes were a combined attack conducted by the air component of Operation Harden Kai in coordination with the Nigerian Army, following an earlier operation that targeted and destroyed terrorist positions in the area. The federal government's release of an updated list of 48 individuals and 12 entities allegedly linked to terrorism financing has triggered fresh public demand for immediate action, with security experts warning that failure to follow through could further erode trust in Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts. The list published by the Nigerian Sanctions Committee is said to be one of the most comprehensive disclosures in recent times, targeting suspected financiers of violent groups operating across the country. Among the prominent names of the list are Finland-based factional leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, and the publisher of Desert Herald, Tukur Mamu. The list also includes groups such as Boko Haram, the Islamic State West Africa Province, and IPOB, as well as entities like West and East Africa General Trading, Settings Bureau de Change Limited, and the Tukaroa sect, the Lakuroa sect, rather. The development comes at a time the government says it has secured convictions in 386 terrorism cases out of 508 prosecuted, even as attacks continued across several states, including Borno, Kebbi, Kwara, and Zamfara states. The Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee has dismissed reports claiming that the Minister of State for Finance, Taiwo Oyedele, admitted errors in Nigeria's new tax laws. In a statement posted on Sunday via Oyedele's X handle, the committee described the report as misleading and a misrepresentation of the minister's comment. The statement read in part, and I quote, "Our attention has been drawn to misleading media reports claiming that the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, has finally admitted errors in the new tax laws. These publications misrepresent the minister's statement, falsely alleging that he urged Nigerians to await the outcome of a legislative probe, a process that has long been concluded, and the gazetted copies certified by the National Assembly published since early January 2026. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, to account for the whereabouts of the alleged missing or 2.9 billion naira of diverted funds from the public funds, Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited, and the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority. SERAP also urged him to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, and anti-corruption agencies to investigate the funds. The organization, in a letter dated April 11 and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, also urged Tinubu to direct NICOMSAT to disclose the shareholders and beneficial owners of the company, which collected $465 million in unauthorized investment from the agency. President Donald Trump has announced the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz by the U.S. Navy after talks in Islamabad failed to produce a deal between the U.S. and Iran, and Iran's nuclear over Iran ambitions. It's a critical shipping route through which roughly 20% of the world's oil and natural liquefied gas is transported. The strait's geography has allowed Iran to use it as leverage throughout the SWOR, selectively preventing vessels from passing through the narrow waterway and spiking oil prices in the process. Trump says that NATO has offered to help clean out the Strait of Hormuz in comments made to Fox News shortly after he announced plans to block the key shipping line. He says the US was very disappointed with NATO, but that now they want to come and they want to help with the strait. The United States has commended the Nigerian government for securing 386 convictions in terrorism-related cases, describing the development as a significant step towards justice and accountability. The commendation was issued by the U.S. Senior Advisor for Arab and African Affairs, Massad Bolusen. A statement shared via X on Sunday, where the official praised Nigeria's efforts to fast-track terrorism trials. The United States commends the Nigerian government for its strong commitment to expediting trials, addressing terrorism and related crimes. At least 30 people are feared to have been killed in a stampede at a popular tourist site in Haiti. The incident took place on Saturday during an annual Easter gathering at the La Feria Cidatel, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Jean-Henri Petit, head of civil protection for Haiti's North Department, said warning the death toll could yet rise. Prime Minister Alex Didier feels who said the incident occurred during a tourist event attended by many young people at the site in the northern town of Milot, said an investigation had been launched and all relevant authorities mobilized to support those affected. The government sends its sincere condolences to the affected families, Fils Amer said in a statement. And in sports, Bundesliga club Union Berlin have named Mario Leusch-Etter as manager, making her the first female head coach in Bundesliga history after Steven Baumgart was sacked on Sunday. Etter becomes the first female top-flight coach of a men's team in a major European league. The 34-year-old, who was the first female assistant coach in the Bundesliga, will take over from the remainder of the season. Baumgart was sacked early on Sunday morning after the club's form flattened in the second half of the season with Saturday's 3-1 defeat by last-placed Heidenheim, the final straw. Union have won just 2 games since Christmas and sit 7 points above the relegation playoff spots. Still in sports, the Ballon d'Or football's most prestigious individual award often reflects performances across both club and international competitions. In FIFA World Cup years, the race for the prize becomes even more intense as players have the global stage to cement their legacy. Over the decades, several winners have used the World Cup as a springboard to claim the Ballon d'Or, while others have triumphed largely on the strength of their club performances. Rivers State is a treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater height. This is a task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at RSTV PH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now to end the news, a recap of some major stories. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has called on the people of Opobo Kingdom to embrace hard work and self-reliance as the community bid farewell to its late monarch, King Dandison Douglas Jaja. The Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERA, has urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, to account for the whereabouts of the alleged missing or 2.9 billion of diverted from the public funds, Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited and the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority. We reported that the Nigerian Navy has arrested 2 vessels, MT Nkpodu and MT Westaff AF, with over 939 metric tons of suspected stolen crude oil worth over 4 billion naira. That's the news for tonight. Many thanks for joining us. I am Ubuka Umida. Good night.